This luxurious manor of mine now feels like a prison. It's been 4 weeks since I received the news that my wife of 10 years, Mila, had been found murdered and dumped in the county landfill. I'm sorry. She was my everything. All the money, status, the property I own, or any of the artwork I've spent my life creating. Nothing made me feel the joy and happiness that she did. Since then, I've been attempting to fill this bottomless, agonizing hole in my heart with my mistress, Gabrielle. She's kept me distracted as neither her nor I have left the manor since. She's been by my side as I've been attempting to cope with these feelings. My butler, Francis, on the other hand, has been quite a nuisance and a nag. He continues to pester me on and on about seeking other professional help. It's quite clear to me that he doesn't understand what I'm going through. This evening, I'm sitting at the grand dining room table with Gabrielle after finishing a tremendous dinner prepared by Francis. I'm laughing as she's making jokes, keeping my spirits high as only she can during this time. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Francis enter the dining room through the kitchen door, approaching us. "Thanks for the dinner, Francis. It was delicious," I tell him as Gabrielle nods enthusiastically in agreement. Francis smiles endearingly and replies, "Why, thank you, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed it," before noticeably darting his eyes towards Gabrielle and then back to me. Sir," he continues, "could I speak with you alone for a moment?" "Sure," I respond. "That's fine." I look over at Gabrielle, whose eyes are now locked onto Francis, expressing a look of obvious suspicion. I tell her, "Go on up to the room and pick out our next film to enjoy. I'll be up in just a moment." She turns to look at me, now with a pleasant and soft smile, and says,
"Very well."
She shoots a menacing look at Francis one last time before excusing herself from the table, walking over to the staircase and disappearing out of sight as she ascends to the second floor. Francis walks up and takes the seat at the table opposite mine. He looks nervous as he begins. "Sir, I mean no disrespect, but—" "Out with it!" I cut him off. I feel a sharp sense of anger as I already know where this conversation is headed. He pauses for a second and continues, "Sir, we need to get an appointment set up for you. I have a trusted friend I could call. I'll hear no more." My hand rapidly grabs the empty plate in front of me and hurls it at the wall behind Francis, loudly shattering it into 100 pieces. Francis stares at me, aghast, as I hear footsteps hammering down the stairs. I turn to see Gabrielle sprinting up to the table.
"Look at what you made him do!"
She screams angrily, joining me by my side as we both glare at Francis.
"Come on, honey,"
she says as she warmly hugs me from my side.
"Let's go back up to the room."
I abruptly stand up, still shaking in rage, as Gabrielle and I walk over and begin climbing the stairs. She turns and gives Francis, who's still seated, one last look of disgust before we continue up to the second floor. Behind us, I can hear Francis yell out, "This can't happen again, sir!" as we turn into the hallway towards the master bedroom. "I don't get what his deal is," I say as we enter the room. "Do you think I need to see a doctor?" I ask. She gives me a comforting look as she replies,
"No, honey, we'll get through it together."
As we lay down on the bed, she pulls me into a tight embrace before saying,
"Who does he think he is?"
We lay silently for a moment, my mind racing. It's all just getting too overwhelming. I sit up and scoot over to the edge of the bed. "I'll be right back," I tell her. She looks at me with a kind, gentle smile before saying,
"I'll be right here."
With that, I stand up and walk over to the master bathroom. After entering, I close the door behind me before turning on the sink's faucet, allowing the water to run. I close my eyes, bow my head, and let the tears spill freely. "Is this all my fault?" I whisper to myself out loud, almost choking from anguish. I gotta pull myself together. I think to myself as I continue sobbing quietly. Maybe Francis is right. Maybe I should see a doctor. After a few more minutes, I rise up from my hunched position over the sink and turn off the faucet. I grab a towel and lightly dry my face before exiting the bathroom to see Gabrielle laying right where I left her. I raise the bed's covers and once again slide in, cuddling her from behind before I see 2 envelopes and my letter openers sitting on the nightstand by her side of the bed. "Oh," I say. "I was meaning to open those over there. Could you please pass me those letters on the nightstand along with the opener?" I ask as I sit up against the pillows behind me. She reaches over to do as I requested. "Oh, be careful," I begin. "It's quite sharp."
Ouch!
She yelps as she yanks her hand back, blood now trickling off the tip of her finger. I freeze. "Oh no," I say, my eyes glued to her finger, which is now slowly oozing blood. Are you all right?"
Yeah, I just need a bandage.
she says before gritting her teeth. My eyes are still locked onto her finger as the bleeding gets faster. "Of course," I say. Let me get that bandage for you." Once again, I scoot over to the edge of the bed, my eyes still fixated on her bright red, beautiful finger, now partly grasped by her other hand. I'm trying to peel my eyes away, but seemingly I just can't. I walk over to her side of the bed, approaching the nightstand where the letter opener still sits. I slowly start reaching down, my hand shaking slightly as I grab it.
Honey,
She starts, now looking up at me.
can I please get that bandage? It hurts.
My mouth is salivating. With the letter opener now in hand, I glide its razor-sharp end across her throat in one fell swoop, smiling wide before she clutches her throat, her eyes bulging beautifully. "Not enough," I say, raising the opener high above my head before forcefully plunging it straight into her chest and ripping it out. Streams of blood painting the canvas of my sheets, a true work of art.
Sir, open the door. Sir, open the door. I'm coming in.
No, sir! Not again! I told you this can't happen again! This is why you need to see a doctor! I knew this would happen! First Mila, your own wife, and now her. How many more will I need to hide in that landfill for you? How many before you finally stop?